What it do, good people? Welcome back to the Daniel Diagnosis, KDTV. I am your host, Keith Daniel. We got a fantastic one lined up for you today. I ran across this Dane Calloway video talking about an Agenda 47. I'm guessing it has something to do with the new administration that's coming in with President-elect Donald J. Trump in January. And as you all know, man, we have been going down one hell of a roller coaster for the past, 8, 9 years. You know what I mean? It's one hell of a time to be alive. I'm not familiar with what Agenda 47 is. That's one of the reasons I chose this video to react to it, so I can, be brought up to speed about it. And I know the good brother Dane Calloway is going to go in depth because he's always on point with his information, and he does, proper research, in my opinion, to make people well informed and be aware of certain things that's going on, in our country or whatnot. So, do me a favor, sub up to my channel if you're new here. Give me a like on the video. They're going to help out the algorithm, and make sure you go over to Dane Calloway's channel and give him a sub if you're not familiar with him. We all in this thing together, man, and we gotta do what we need to do in order to stay up on a lot of the nonsense. Now, with that being said, I'm about to limit my commentary, and we're about to jump into the video. So kick back, light your sticks up, post something up. Let's get to it.
If you feel like something is wrong with everything that is happening nowadays, but you can't figure out why, I can tell you that millions of people feel the same way as you do. In this video, I will try to provide educational answers to your questions. It is essential to note that I am not influenced by either party, being an independent thinker, so you can expect that this video and all of my other videos will come from an unbiased perspective. So let's get it. Before the presidential election on November 4th, 2024, Donald Trump's vice president-elect, J.D. Vance, recorded this interview with Tucker Carlson, stating what the media would do once Trump won the election.
Trump's main campaign platforms, one of the main things that he talks about, and of course, I think he learned in some ways the hard way during his first 4 years in office, is the president recognizes that if you have people in your government who you tell to do something and they disobey you, that's not like checks and balances. They're part of your government. The check and balance is the House, the Senate, the judiciary, right? If the people in your own government aren't obeying you, you have got to get rid of them and replace them with people who are responsive to what the president is trying to do. If you don't have that, you don't have a real democratic accountability.
You've got to be a nut cutter because that's the system at stake.
That's right.
That's democratic control. How do voters have any control over their government if the people they elect have no control?
That's exactly right, man. And again, it's we have to sort of remind ourselves that it's real people who suffer because of this, right? There are Americans who are dead because the Joint Chiefs of Staff didn't listen to the President of the United States when he said you need to do troop redeployments out of Syria. There are veterans who are dead because the VA does not function as well as it could because the president needs to be able to fire, again, the small number of people who aren't doing their job. And that same story repeats itself, rinse and repeat through the entire American government. You have got to have basic democratic accountability. And I think, most Americans recognize, like, look, we're fine with, bureaucrats making a reasonable salary. We're fine with people having a good life, but they've got to do their job, right? When you're in public service, you've got to do your job. And whether you're an elected official or an unelected bureaucrat, if you're not doing your job, you got to get out there and make way for somebody who will.
So if you guys win and you start firing people who are acting against orders of their commander-in-chief and against the expressed will of voters, the New York Times will call it a fascist takeover.
That's exactly right.
So the question is, do you care?
Well, I think we have to not care. Now, you have to care about public opinion, of course, because you have to actually make the case to the American people.
But if you're acting on behalf of the public,
You have to say,
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's what's so funny about it is it's the opposite, right? Real democracy is when the elected leaders the voters elect actually make the decisions in the government.
Right.
Fascism, if it's anything, it's that the voters don't get any say in how their government actually operates. So fascism, if it's anything, it's that the voters don't get any say in how their government actually operates. So I think you have to do it. And look, man, I've been in politics all of 2 years, but there are all of these really subtle ways in which the media, the tech sector, the people who call the shots try to manipulate the American public and manipulate political leadership into not doing the things the American people actually want. So here, let me give you an example. Mark this down. I guarantee in 18 months or so, we're going to have, this is going to be prophetic. So right now, according to public opinion polling, 65% of Americans, give or take, support mass deportations, meaning 25 million people here, you've got to send some of them back to where they came from, okay? That's a common sense issue. 2/3 of Americans, give or take, support it. In 18 months, there will be media stories and there will be public opinion polls to back it up that actually Americans do not support mass deportations, that Donald Trump is doing all of these terrible things and he has to stop. It's inhumane, it's evil, and the American public don't support it. The same people who put those public opinion polls together are the same people who say, for example, that Donald Trump was going to lose Wisconsin by 17 points. Remember that? 3 days before the 2020 election, Donald Trump was supposed to lose Wisconsin by 17 points. And set to the side all of the debates about what happened in 2020, Wisconsin was basically a tied election. So these guys use public polls, they use the media, not even just to manipulate public opinion, but to manipulate our leadership about what public opinion actually says.
So how does that happen? So those polls are fake, is what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely, they're fake. They're absolutely fake.
Almost everything he mentioned would happen is quickly becoming a reality. Trump is currently filling his cabinet with people who are said to make drastic changes within the government that will eliminate the swamp and give power back to the people. Vance mentioned that the media will work overtime to manipulate the public into opposing President Trump's agenda for America.
Now I'm gonna pause it right there because I guess I see where Dane coming from. You know, like the media is going to vilify Trump and, you know, make it seem like, you know, he's on some fascist type agenda or whatnot. You know, me personally, I'm not a politics guy. I don't like to lean right. I don't like to lean left. I like to keep it straight up and down like 6 o'clock. You know, I'm a don't choose sides type of guy. But what concerns me as far as what I'm seeing right now is that, you know, we don't really see people of our beautiful copper color in this cabinet being appointed to leadership positions in our government. Like, I don't see anybody in this current regime as it's being put together in real time that looks like me. And I ain't saying that we gotta have somebody in there like that, but if we're going to be for the people and by the people and everybody is going to be included and it's going to be inclusive, it would make me feel a little bit better if I saw somebody that looked like me. However, that's neither here or there. Let's continue.
He noted that the administration's plan for mass deportations would prompt the media to create and release fake public polls, suggesting that Americans are against these deportations, which are set to begin on Trump's first day in office. In reality, many Americans actually support this plan. Behind the scenes, extremist groups that some evil people in their organizations fund are recruiting people right now to execute their plans to disrupt President Trump's inauguration on January 20th, 2025, a scene that we have seen before during Trump's first inauguration.
Grenades and pepper spray. Before the swearing-in ceremony even began, protesters tried to block checkpoint entrances. During President Trump's speech, several demonstrators were escorted out of the area. Several officers injured during the protest today and more than 100 people arrested. Tonight, thousands of protesters remain in downtown D.C., occasionally facing off with police. We have seen many people injured, both protesters and police officers.
Yeah.
See, like, for me, I don't agree with all that. And to me, that's just a bunch of nonsense. Like, the country is the country. America is America. I mean, we have elections, one side wins, the other side loses. Don't be sore about it. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. And just like the airplane narrative, if Trump is the pilot, I'm not rooting for this. I'm not rooting for this guy to crash the plane. Do you know why? I'm on the plane, period. So I'm hoping and encouraging him to fly the plane so we can land the plane where we need to land it. Like, it's just point blank, period. Like, why would I want him to fail in flying the airplane called America when I'm on board it? You know what I mean? Point blank, period. And I don't need y'all disrupting the whole fucking cabin of the airplane where we all are and making it volatile and things of that nature when me and my family are on this plane. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need rides. We don't need all the violence or whatnot. Period. I just don't agree with that. Now, it doesn't matter what side it comes from. Like, to me, that's just a bunch of bullshit, but I digress.
They're planning to riot and protest against Trump again, this time with a twist. Also, I'm guessing these types of videos will look different according to today's exit polls, which show the majority of men voted for Trump, the majority of women voted for Harris, and the majority of these men and women who voted for Harris were black. The last time we saw crowds of black men and women similarly take to the streets was during the Civil Rights era. So will we see large crowds of angry black men and women in videos like this? I doubt it very seriously, but let's not forget how the Democrats jumped to the media to entice the public to do something about Trump. Here's a clip of Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman sending a warning message to Trump and his supporters.
It's just unquestionable at this point that that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
The Democrats clarified that they will prevent Trump from becoming president, even if he won the election.
That word eliminated, that don't sit well with me. Like, you gotta. Look, I'm big on etymology. It's like eliminated. That's a strong word, y'all. That's a very strong word. So people got to be very careful of, especially when they're being interviewed and these interviews going out, you know, because people can take that as far as being, you know, people talking in code and things of that nature. So when you're using words like, he has to be eliminated, this man, he's unfit, blah, 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 and he has to be eliminated. Like, eliminated? That's a strong word, my friend.
Biden's been a phenomenal president. He's lived up to so many of the promises he's made. There's one promise left that he could fulfill, being a transitional figure. He could resign the presidency in the next 30 days, make Kamala Harris the president of the United States.
Whoa.
He would absolve her from being able to, from having to oversee the January 6th transition, right, of her own defeat. And it would make sure that it would dominate the news at a point where Democrats have to learn drama and transparency and doing things that the public want to see is the time. This is the moment for us to change the entire perspective of how Democrats operate.
This has now jumped from an internet meme to a Sunday morning show.
Jamal's out here right now.
Congratulations.
Season of House of Cards.
I thought you were going to say, what about the Supreme Court? That's also out there.
Well, the Supreme Court might happen. I don't know if it will, but
We all know that Trump did win, but listen to Democrat Congressman Jamie Raskin say what will happen after Trump wins.
Again, it's necessary, but it's not sufficient because what can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means.
He gave the date of January 6, 2025, and they are currently recruiting people right now through multiple extremist groups who are well known for violent protesting. According to reports, flyers are presently posted on college campuses in Washington, D.C., instructing students to, quote, fight fascism. The Cambridge Dictionary defines fascism as a political system based on a very powerful leader, state control, and being extremely proud of country and race.
Now, this is my question to Dane on this one right here. You got to drop receipts with this, Dane. You just can't say reports are saying that they're recruiting to do this and they're recruiting to do that without dropping actual receipts and letting us see that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're true. It's true what you're saying. I'm just speculating and I'm just diagnosing what you're saying, sir. But if you're going to make strong accusations as you're saying, you need to give us receipts on that. You feel what I'm saying? Now, again, it could be out there. I don't know. I'm not in D.C. I'm not there. I haven't seen anything like that down here in Alabama. We ain't hearing nothing like that. Like, so, don't do yourself a disservice as far as, making it seem like you just came out and said that you ain't condoning one side or the other. So when you make statements like that, saying that reports are coming out saying that these extremist groups are recruiting people, you got to drop us some receipts, boss. You got to drop us some receipts. You see what I'm saying? You're going to need receipts on that because you don't want to put yourself in the position of making it seem like you're adding fans inflaming the fire. You know what I mean? That's just my take on it. What Rankin said on the Hill as far as, given the date of January 6th, which is that's the confirmation hearing, what they call it when they solidify the elections, or what it is, ratify might not be the word, but y'all know what I'm saying when they say, okay, yeah, the election was legit and this is what it is, because the inauguration is on the 20th. So him giving that January 6th date, bringing up the 14th Amendment, Section 3 and things of that nature, yeah, that's red flagging. You know what I mean? That's a receipt. But saying that all this other stuff going on, and again, I'm not saying that it's not, but we need receipts so we can validate the information you bring it to us.
And in which political opposition is not allowed. In contrast, dictionary.com defines it as a system of government led by a dictator who typically rules by forcefully and often violently suppressing opposition and criticism, controlling all industry and commerce, and promoting nationalism and often racism. These are two distinctively different definitions that will purposely sway public opinion. These flyers are equipped with QR codes, and when you scan them with your phone, it brings up a collection of links, quote, inviting individuals to fight fascism by joining groups like the People's Medic Collective, the DMV Students for Justice in Palestine, and the Socialist Action Initiative. The trio of groups were recently involved in the pro-Palestine protests that took place in the nation's capital, following Hamas October 7th terrorist attacks in Israel, which were rife with illegal activity. End quote. These flyers display the messages, what now? Fight fascism, start today, and turn your anger into action, encouraging people to join their left-wing organizations. I say this because the Tides Foundation calls itself a, quote, left-leaning donor-advised fund, and is a proud founder of the Students for Justice in Palestine organization I mentioned. The Tides Foundation is also mainly funded by George Soros. the same funder of all left-leaning organizations like Black Lives Matter, an org that stole donations from Black Americans by lying to them, saying that they would assist them in receiving justice against police brutality. But instead, they purchased million-dollar mansions and left the organization to dry up once their job to steal money and people's attention was complete. But let's not forget that in the past, Donald Trump said that he would do one thing when he actually does another. For example, during his first campaign for president, Donald Trump said that he would drain the swamp and that he would lock up Hillary Clinton numerous times throughout his campaign.
By the way, Hillary Clinton is missing 30,000 emails. They've been deleted. 30,000. 30,000 emails. And remember I said I was a counterpuncher? I am. After what she said about me today in her phony speech, that was a phony speech. That was a Donald Trump hit job. I will say this, Hillary Clinton has to go to jail, okay? She has to go to jail. Has to go. That was a phony hit job. She's guilty as hell. And I'm saying, what the hell are they talking about? We have to win, right? We have to win. We didn't come this far to lose. So we're going to play California because I think Hillary is very weak. I think she's pathetic. I think she should be in jail for what she did with her emails, okay? She should be in jail. She should be in jail for what she did with those emails. Let me tell you. I didn't think I'd say this, but I'm going to say it. And I hate to say it. But if I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation, because there has never been so many lies, so much deception. There has never been anything like it. This just came out. This just came out.
Hold on, man. For him to tell Hillary Clinton that on stage, bro, like, he has zero chills, bro. He has zero fucks to give. Like, for him to get on that stage in front of her and say that, yeah, man, I've been told folks that he's a gangster, bro. If he ain't nothing else, he gangster. Like, But Dane is giving you some prime examples. He said a whole lot that what he was gonna do, and ain't none of that coming to fruition. And I think that with this time around, it's to me, last time he had the internet abuzz with the QAnon phenomenon. This time he didn't have that. And I think that he really didn't need it because it had so much influence. The last round, well, the 2016 campaign, I can't say the last round because that was 2020. But the 2016 campaign, I think it had so much movement to where a lot of that information, even though a lot of it didn't come into fruition, it still rings in people's head. You know, I heard a quote saying that once you ring a bell, you can't unring it. And I think that's what his 2016 campaign did. He rung a bell that couldn't be unrung. And we're still hearing the sounds of that ringing right now, today.
WikiLeaks. I love WikiLeaks. And I said, write a couple of them down. Let's see. During a speech, crooked Hillary Clinton. Oh, she's crooked, folks. She's crooked as a $3 bill. Okay, here's one. Just came out. Lock her up is right. No. She gets the subpoena, and after, not before, that would be bad, but after getting the subpoena to give over your emails and lots of other things, she deleted the emails. She has to go to jail.
And it's also crazy to me, after he did all that in 2016, fast forward 8 years later, And now he's the one that has the criminality issues. You know what I mean? 34 felonies, lawsuits, Southern District of New York. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm just being honest with you. Me personally, I'm not biased towards anyone. You lean to whatever side you lean to. Your beliefs are your beliefs, and you have the right to have those. You are entitled to have that. You know what I mean? But I just find it very suspicious that both, like he was saying this about that side, now that side has the same ammunition to say about him. This one crazy ass world we living in, people. We all we got now. I'm trying to tell you. This is crazy talk.
Crooked Hillary is doing no more public events until after the debate. They say she's doing debate prep, but really she's just resting. She's resting. Tell you what, for what she's done, they should lock her up. She's disgraceful. It's disgraceful.
Look at this, man. He said Hillary Clinton should have been prosecuted and should be in jail. Instead, she is running for president in what looks like a rigged election. Bruh. 8:23 a.m., October 15, 2016. Bruh, I'm just being honest with you. This shit didn't age well right here, sir. Because they were saying the same shit about you just a few months ago. That's my whole thing. Do you see? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I digress, though. I digress.
I mean, Crooked Hillary spent 3 or 4 times more money than us, right? So Crooked Hillary, you should lock her up, I'll tell you. I'm telling you, that Biden family and others, but that Biden family is corrupt. It's a corrupt family. And with me and my kids, let me tell you, my kids, I'll tell you something, though, and it's very, lock them up. You should lock them up. Lock up the Bidens. Lock up Hillary.
This is wild, man.
Lock them up.
This is wild, man.
But on June 3rd of this year, during an interview with Fox News, he denied saying any of this and blamed his supporters for saying lock her up.
Well, Rachel asked you, though, because I hear you struggling with it. I hear you say it's a tough question, a bit unsure. Yeah. You famously said regarding Hillary Clinton, lock her up. You declined to do that as president. But now...
And purposely, because after I won, it's different when you win. I see it tonight. I'm going to UFC with Dana White. And I see fighters, they come in with hatred like you wouldn't believe it. It's amazing. It's a little metaphor on life, right? The hatred, they hate each. Then after the fight, somebody wins, somebody loses. Sometimes they get knocked out. Sometimes it's... But they hug and they kiss each other. It's like crazy. I beat her. It's easier when you win. And they all said, lock her up. And I felt, and I could have done it, but I felt it would have been a terrible thing.
No, bro,
and then this happened to me. And so I may feel differently about it. I can't tell you, I'm not sure I can answer the question. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up. Okay.
Well, come on, big dog. Come on, big dog. But Dane, you did a hell of a job by contrasting this shit, bro, and giving this great receipts on this one, my man. See, this is the thing. This is like smoke and mirrors right here. Like, that's the illusion of what they give us. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you look at DJT right here, there's a reason why he talking the way he talking right now. See, if he didn't have all those cases during June 3rd of this year going on and 34 felonies over his head and things of that nature, he wouldn't have this damn tone. Everybody that's been on the wrong sides of the tracks, that's been in the streets, that understand how the game go, understand exactly what he's doing. He's positioning himself. He didn't understand that the shoe would be on the other foot. It's like the old saying goes, y'all. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And that's exactly what this is. So he's saying exactly what he's supposed to be saying right now, because who in their right mind would own up to the shit that he said now that he is the person with the bullseye on his back? I'm just saying.
One, and I said pretty openly, I say, all right, come on, just relax, let's go. We got to make our country great.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can answer the question. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up. I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up. I didn't say lock her up, but the people would all say lock her up, lock her up, lock her up.
You heard him. He denied saying that he said to lock her up when I played multiple clips of him saying so. And he also said that they said that. They meaning his MAGA supporters. In case you don't think he was referring to his supporters, he doubled down on this in August of this year during a press conference. Listen closely to what he says and how he slickly changes the topic on purpose.
Mr. President,
President Biden is now not the pardon of his son Hunter, who is now a convicted felon and facing more felony charges in his upcoming trial for alleged tax evasion. Would you consider granting clemency or a pardon?
I don't think it's appropriate for me to talk about it. I think it's a tragic story. You want to know the truth. And I felt that with Hillary Clinton, too. You know, with Hillary Clinton, I could have done things to her that would have made your head spin. I thought it was a very bad thing. Take the wife of a president of the United States and put her in jail. And then I see the way they treat me. That's the way it goes. But I was very protective of her. Nobody would understand that, but I was. I think my people...
Look, that was the key part right there. He said, then I see the way they treat me. That's my thing. Like, bro, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Listen to this.
It's a tragic story. You want to know the truth. And I felt that with Hillary Clinton, too. You know, with Hillary Clinton, I could have done things to her that would have made your head spin. I thought it was a very bad thing. Take the wife of a president of the United States and put her in jail. And then I see the way they treat me. That's the...
See? I just told y'all. He just said it out of his mouth. Then I see the way they treat me. Yeah, now you understand what it is to be the rabbit. You know what I'm saying? Now you understand what it is. Like, that's the thing about people, y'all. It's easy for us to judge. And here's the thing when it comes to the politicians and things of that nature. Like, me personally, the way I look at it is like, we don't like the term identity politics, right? But it's the truth of the matter. We don't get policy from these people. We don't get what, you know, they're going to stand on and what they're going to do for the most part. They sell us a bunch of pipe dreams, but do they actually come true? No. We vote for these people because we identify with these people. Period. That's what human beings do. The more you identify with a person, the more likely you are to cast your vote for that person. And with that, it really shows the true color of the people. Not saying color by race, talking about color by morals. You feel what I'm saying? See, I'm a firm believer of let he without sin cast the first stone. But when you think you're holier than thou, or you think the rhetoric that you use is going to give you a boost, some people don't care what they say. Some people don't care what come out their mouth. But you got to understand that once you say certain things, you can, now ain't no certain things. Once you say something, you can't take it back. So you always need to be mindful of what you say. Now, as far as the people, the mentality is just that. Point blank, period. You had people that were screaming. He said it, but they chanted once he said it. Lock her up. Lock her up. But those same people that wanted to lock her up for deleting emails is the same people that wanted to dismiss his 34 felonies and elect him back in office. Well, like my grandmama used to tell me, if it's good for the gander, it's good for the goose. Meaning that you can't be the pot that's calling the kettle black. So the lesson in this whole situation right here to me is we need to take a step back. It ain't about Trump. It wasn't about Hillary. It ain't about Biden. It's about us as a people. What kind of people are we going to be? Period. seriously speaking, we see what we got as far as the selections that we had to choose from. But does the selections that was given to us in these elections have to really identify us? Is this who we want to be as a people, as a nation? You see what I'm saying? That's a question that I think we all need to look in the mirror and ask ourselves.
The way it goes. But I was very protective of her. Nobody would understand that, but I was. I think my people understand it. They used to say, lock her up, and I'd say, just relax, please. We won the election. I think it would be I think it would have been horrible for our country and we had her between the hammering of all of the files. And don't forget, she got a subpoena from the United States Congress. And then after getting the subpoena, she destroyed everything that she was supposed to get. I thought it was so bad to take her and put her in jail. I thought it was so bad to take her and put her in jail.
Now, why would he say that? Because he feels that way about himself. It would be so bad to take him and put him in jail. And look, let me tell you something. Once again, to remind y'all. Well, while I'm going to remind y'all, hit the like button. Sub to the channel if you're new here. You know what I mean? Like straight up. But anyway, to remind her, it'll be so bad to put her in jail. It's double talk because the same thing applies to him. It would be bad. It'll be bad for the country if we have to take a president or a first lady and put them in jail because of misconduct, including him, including her, including whoever. What does that say about us as a nation at that point? You see what I'm saying? We got a million different problems, a lot of problems. You see what I'm saying? Just point blank, period. But at the same time, we have to think things through. But we get so caught up in this shit. We get so extreme with it. We're extremely left or we're extremely right. And not understanding that, man, well, we all got dirt. But I done did some things in my past that I'm not proud of. You know, point blank, period. If they ever come out, I have to address them. But due to me knowing that I've put my fair share of dirt into this world, it makes me a whole lot more cautious to call other people out on their dirt. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my point. Like, it's not about the politicians. It's not about the elected officials. And come on, for real. Like, the electoral college is going to pick who's going to be the person. See what I'm saying? The popular vote gives us the climate of the population. And at the end of the day, we just need to take a step back and reevaluate our morals, our ethics as a people. Ain't nobody out here perfect. Ain't nobody out here, you know, above the law, and ain't nobody out here the second coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, we all flawed. Point blank, period. But we get caught up in this just like we get caught up in anything else that's entertaining to us, and we put our emotions in front of our logic, and we don't give a damn about no one else if they ain't feeling the way we feeling. And that we got to be careful with that. Like, we need to respect each other's political views, religious views, just the way we view life in general. Like, being honest with you. And I'm being honest, like down here in Alabama, straight up, people have tried to paint my state as being like a racist state and things of that nature. Now, you got some small towns that, you know, are in some very, very rural areas that, yeah, you might run across some stuff like that. But for the most part, man, we just want to get along down here. That's all. We'll good morning you to death. We'll open the door open for you. We going, yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. You to death. Like, we just want to be treated the way we treat people. Period. You can vote for this person. I can vote for this person. Like when at the election, man, you had people of all creeds and colors in line. It wasn't no nonsense. People just voted with their heart for who they wanted to vote for. And if you came up there in a MAGA shirt, nobody had nothing to say to you. If you came up there in a Harris Wall shirt, nobody had nothing to say to you. Point blank, period. My only thing is this. We don't need to get so caught up into these politics to where we divide ourselves over unnecessary shit.
Wife of a president of the United States, and then when it's my turn, nobody thinks that way. I thought it was a very terrible thing, and she did a lot of very bad things. I'll tell you what, she was pretty evil. But in terms of the country and in terms of unifying the country, bringing it back to her and put her in jail, I didn't think.
He finna say something. He finna say exactly what I've been saying. Watch this.
I thought it was so bad to take her and put her in jail, the wife of a president of the United States, and then when it's my turn, nobody thinks that way.
That part. When it's my turn, nobody thinks that way. See what I'm saying? He just said out of his mouth, when it's my turn. Because he in the same damn boat. And he's like, nobody thinks that way. See, you got to be careful on how you do people. See, he's learning that with this situation now. It's like, now when it's my turn, don't nobody think like that. Y'all want to lock me up. You see what I'm saying? I ain't lock her up when I could have. But you still said it though, bro. When you eradicate the public to a point to where they're looking at you to cash in on your promises, you got to understand that shit can come right back around to you. You see what I'm saying? But now when it's his turn, he's like, man, don't nobody think like that. Yo, I see it. I understand. But we need to take this opportunity as a learning lesson and understand that before we get out here and throw out accusations against our fellow man, our fellow human beings, and things of that nature, understand it's two sides, and that shit can come right back to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing that I'm saying. So let he without sin cast the first stones, because when the rabbit got the gun, it ain't just because you chose to not take the shot. That don't mean the rabbit is gonna feel the same way.
I thought it was a very terrible thing, and she did a lot of very bad things. I'll tell you what, she was pretty evil. But in terms of the country and in terms of unifying the country, bringing it back, to have taken her and to have put her in jail, and I think you know the things as well as I do. There were some pretty bad acts that she did. I think it would have been very bad for our country and a lot of my people, a lot of the MAGA, as they call them, but the base. And I think the base is 75% of the country, far beyond the Republican Party, because we're a party of common sense, and I'm a person of common sense. I want to have low taxes. I want to have strong borders. I want to have a strong military so that China and Russia, look, they've allowed China and Russia to do the impossible combined.
Could this be America's last election if Donald Trump wins? Listen to what the former president told a Christian group at the Turning Point USA Believers Summit in West Palm Beach. The former president telling the crowd that if they re-elect him to the White House, they won't have to worry about voting ever again.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
He said it 3 times. Now,
see, what the public has to realize is that the enemy is on code with their plans. And what's alarming is how easily Donald Trump became the new incoming president for a second time without any cheating during the election this time around. Their code language is numbers, and Trump was president number 45 and is now president number 47. 4 plus 5 is 9, and then 4 plus 7 is 11. So that's 9/11. 911 is nationally recognized as the number to call for emergency assistance. It also evokes memories of September 11th, 2001, which may suggest the need for emergency assistance in their internal camps, as though it was an inside job. So with that being said, is Donald Trump the emergency relief for us, the people, or for them?
Good video, Dane. That's one hell of a question. It's either emergency relief for us or it's either emergency relief for them. Guess we will find out in less than 2 months. We will find out. Me personally, I don't know. I try to read the tea leaves. I'm a hell of a synchronist, but it's 50-50 in the air. Me personally, I think that we don't, as individuals, we shouldn't leave it up to anybody to be our emergency relief. I think that each individual needs to SOS and save ourselves. Because truthfully speaking, if you look at both sides, who really has your best interests in mind? You see what I'm saying? Both play the game, just point blank, period. And again, I'm not one to take sides. Like, I'm not one to be, swayed one way or the other, unless you're coming at me with some factual, intelligent, intellectual proof. And talking to me in a logical way to where I can understand exactly what's going on. You see what I'm saying? But if you just want me to base my decisions off emotions and because I identify with you as being of this race and you saying you're this and or this race and or being of this gender, like, I don't think that's good in the sense of making people make a choice. However, that's the world we live in, and everybody don't think like me. I'm in the minority when it comes to thinking the way I think. The majority of the people are with the identifying with the politician agenda. See what I'm saying? So I get it, period. And here we are. Like, there's no going back. Like, we got what we got. Now, here's the thing. What is he gonna do? We have the Project 2025 playbook that we've all, have been privy to, and it's been on the public domain. We understand how vulgar some people in his base can be. We've seen it. We've seen the actions on various independent videos from just regular citizens in the country. It is what it is. But my whole thing is, people, let's not just get duped into going along to get along with a lot of shit. You are in control of your own actions. You are in control of the way you think. You are in control of your everyday life. And I think that if we can identify with that part, that's the most important thing. And again, we can't see the future. We're not in these rooms with these people when they're having their meetings and things of that nature. Like, I gave you my setbacks or the things that's holding me up in this situation. I'm looking at the cabinet and his appointees and the people that he's putting in place, and I don't see nobody that look like me. And I'm a part of this country. And so that's a concern for me. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that the people that he's putting in place won't do good jobs. I'm just saying I don't feel like people that look like me are being represented in this new regime. So what does that mean? Keep your ears and your eyes open. I ain't here to tell you what to think. I'm like my boy Dane. I'm just here to make you think. So with that being said, man, if you watched it this far, I hope you got something out of it. Leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think. To the next video, good people, I am Keith Daniel. This is the Daniel Diagnosis on KDTV. Be safe, be productive, be blessed, people. Peace.